What's going on, guys? This is Miasin, and I know this might sound really funny, but this is the very first video that I filmed in like 2 weeks, and you might be thinking, but Yaksign, that's not true because we saw you upload like daily double videos for like the past 2 weeks, but actually no, it's funny because I went on like vacation for 2 weeks basically, and I had to like pre-schedule and upload like a bunch of videos, like over 30 or something, just so that it would be like scheduled for like my whole vacation. But now I'm back. I'm extremely tired because this is like, today is the day where I just came back, so I obviously need to sleep for like 17 hours, but I'm back to being able to like upload very up-to-date content because before that all I really had was just like all the scheduled videos. But yeah, so now I'm going to be, you know, covering everything that's going on right now, so in the OCG, what they're really playing, and also the TCG, because I haven't made like any TCG breakdown videos in a while. But anyways, before this video starts, my man, please, a friendly reminder to smash both the like and the subscribe button. I really appreciate you. I actually miss saying that. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks since I said that, and yeah, now let's get right into it. I swear to God, I'm so dizzy. Anyways, OCG metagame breakdown number 0. So 82 top performing decks from 13 tournaments. It's not that much. Usually sometimes we have like 150 and stuff like that. So 82 is not too much, and it's during the span of a week, but it is, you know, using the new ban list. So that's the reason why this is still really important. But anyways, the new card is just like Sky Striker Ace Azalea, and you'll be shocked to see how good this card really is. It's not just a Sky Striker card. Don't go thinking that this is only a card that will see play in Sky Striker, because it's actually generic to summon, and you can destroy cards on your own field when you summon this card, which is ironically a really good thing. Anyways, the number 1 best deck for now in this breakdown, things are subject to change, would be Brigade Splite. Now there's a really good reason for that, because the Splite engine wasn't really murdered as much as you really think it is. Obviously, Toad is banned, so therefore the pure Splite deck is not great. However, Brigade Splite is just insane because the Brigade engine is completely untouched. The deck can obviously play a bunch of hand traps, and the Splite engine just complements it so well because, you know, you have the Keras and the Kit that are both level 2s. So that if you can summon your, you know, your blue and your jet, it's going to be even free value, and the starter really doesn't hurt you that much. You can still technically make Link 4 monsters under starter by going into IP Masquerena and, you know, searching the Revolta and then playing on your opponent's turn. And, you know, all the the best Link 2 monsters that you can summon anyways, they're all Link 2, so you really don't have to care too much about the drawback. That's the reason why the main Brigade version is using Splite, and then only 4 of them are playing Scareclaw. And so the Scareclaws are BBWs, and that's the reason why they are being played in Brigade, because, well, actually, one of them is a warrior, but the level 3 monsters are level, you know, they're beasts that summons themselves for free. And I believe the Link one is a beast warrior, and you can summon it by only banishing 1 BBW from the grave. Yeah, in case you're wondering what that means, by the way, it means beast, beast warrior, and winged beast. But yeah, anyways, the second best deck, again, for now, is Labyrinth. Things are extremely subject to change because, yeah, let's just say that Tearlaments might be a little better than I initially gave it credit for. But Labyrinth is a really insane deck because it has a lot of ways to get its engine started now. It's really not like before when we first got to the deck, where the deck really was very susceptible to just like getting ashed on your Welcome Labyrinth and then you just can't do anything on your opponent's turn. But now the deck also has Big Welcome Labyrinth, Lady of the Labyrinth, whatever. The big one, 3000 attack, 2900 defense is just an insane card. And with the Kuklok, you can access trap cards on turn 1. So if you're playing like normal trap card floodgates, like Different Dimension, Ground Artifact, Sanctum, Deber, etc., you can easily access them. And if you're playing against, let's say, Tearlaments and you're going first, you're going to be in business. And a lot of people don't really respect trap decks for game 1, meaning that Labyrinth, if it wins the dice roll, it's kind of like the back in the days Altergeist and Eldritch, where it was kind of always winning game 1 by default. Now, the one issue with Labyrinth, of course, is that it kind of faces an uphill battle going second, so that's a little problematic when you don't really draw any hand traps, because the deck can't really afford to play hand traps, maybe unless you're playing like Imperm and stuff like that, but whatever. Anyways, Pure Sprite, and then Melfi Spread, whatever, Tearlaments, 3 Ishizu, and then 1 Ishizu Kishtira. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this deck still freaking exists. With like 1 Sharon, 1 Reino Heart, well, that actually doesn't change that much. And then, what else? 0 Kid Kalos. How could I forget about that? Jesus. Anyways, Dragon Link. Yeah, did this deck get murdered? I don't think so. So this deck should be actually pretty good. I know Magnamut is limited, but whatever. And Kishtira is pretty ass. Like, a lot of cards got limited. So I wouldn't play like pure Kishtira. maybe as an engine, because, you know, you still have the one Fenrir or the one Unicorn, but, like, bruv, I don't know, if I really want to play, like, only 2 monsters in my pure Kashtira deck, it's not worth it. Anyways, Runic, this is very, very good. And then Sky Striker, again, I already said it. The new Sky Striker Ace monster is really good, but it is being played in other decks as well. And then Spread Gishki, I really thought this deck would be a little higher on the list, so I'm a little disappointed, but it's not the end of the world. When you think about it, it's still tied for 5th place, so it's really not like that I was that far off, but this deck is very, very good. So don't sleep on Splite Gishki, man. It's not too bad. Anyways, Adamantipator, Ishizu, Vernalizer. Vernalizer is still an engine that actually has yet to seen people explore it to its full potential. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say, but basically the Vernalizer engine is really, really good, and of course combined with Ishizu, because they're all Earth Fairies, they just inherently have synergy, and the Adamantipator monsters are Earth, so you can still use the effect of your Earth monsters on the field. You just can't use the effect of, like, your non-Earth monsters if you use the effect of a Vernalizer, but you can still summon your non-Earth monsters, so it's really not, like, the end of the world. Anyways, Branded Bestial, very nice deck. Branded Bestial Despia. Oh, I think Branded Fusion is at 1 now, so the deck did get a nerf. Anyways, Drytron. The deck has like 1 Herald of Orange Light, but whatever. Exorcister, okay, another shifter deck. Flunderies, but without the Windbearer statue. So it's still really impressive to see that it still exists, but some people told me that the deck would be like tier 25 without the Windbearer statue. I don't know, man. The deck's really not like that bad even without it, but with the Windbearer statue, the deck is like really problematic and annoying. Anyways, Ishizu, Vernalizer, and Naturia, another very good deck that you should definitely not sleep on. This is not Lunalight. This is Fairy Tail Luna Kaiju something. It's basically like the OCG version of Grenmaju. I've also played this card in my Cyber Dragon deck back in the days, like 2017 or something. Anyways, Shadal, Splite Evil Twin, Bestial Thunder, Generator, Lanmoing Ishizu, what the frick is this? I'm not even gonna bother reading. Invoke Therions, bruv. Kashtira, Scareclaw, Mathematic Adignister, Ninja. Oh, this is actually not too bad. Yeah, some new ninja cards. They really don't suck, ironically. Anyway, Sprite, Prank Kids, hell nah, and then Traptrix. Oh, this is also very interesting. Do not sleep on Traptrix with a new support, okay? Anyways, Brigade, of course. Cusiano, can I read? No, you know what? This is easier to read. Went 10-0, not too bad. And finished first in a 141-player tournament, which is actually really impressive, especially in the OCG. Now, you know, Splite Brigade has been around for a while, but because of the fact that, you know, Sprite, Tearlaments, and Kashtira were better, the deck really wasn't like too great, like Splite Brigade. However, with the other decks being worse, Splite Brigade now has less enemies, and therefore it's better. It's funny when we have these kind of, you know, decks that randomly become good, not because they get direct support that make them better, but because the other decks get so much worse that they end up being better. I know you can understand, because there's been some other decks that were like that, basically. But, yeah, anyways, I already kind of explained that, so really no reason to, like, go back on explaining something that I've already covered. But one thing that I don't know if I like too much, I understand the logic, but you know, the one Mercurier with the branded, sorry, is that the sword? Branded blade, whatever. And then the Albion, obviously this card's not like a brick if you draw it. This card is definitely a brick if you draw it. It's not great at all. And the Mercurier is also fine because, you know, you discard it and then you banish it, but you can't really use it like that well. Like you're still not doing much with this card. It's all of that just to draw one card. Like really, I just feel like it could be so much better. Obviously, you're getting back a card, then you're putting it back on the bottom of the deck when you're searching the Revolt with the, you know, the Bear Brum. So I understand the logic, but are you really committing like 3 cards? I guess it makes a little bit of sense because the only massive break is this, but because of the fact that you can also draw a card and then put it back on the bottom of the deck with the Frigid, it's not the end of the world, but I'm not really trying to make my going second drastically worse, so I don't know if this is the kind of engine I would be playing in the Brigade Splite deck, but the rest is definitely really nice. So obviously triple blue, maxing out on that one. Jet is the one that's being limited, and then red Carrot being especially good in that deck because you don't really have any spell and trap negates actually. Back in the days in the pure Splite deck, and also right now in the TCG, we had Toad, so you know, spell and traps weren't really that scary, but in this version, you absolutely need the Carrot because if you get hit by like evenly or something, you're kind of screwed, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah. Anyways, the Brigade monsters, I think Nerval is the only one that you're really not trying to play at 3 because, oh no, sorry, actually, this guy's playing 2 Karis. Very interesting. Okay, all the good Splite Brigade players in the comment section below, please let me know if the correct ratio for Karis is 2 or 3. In my personal opinion, it would be 3, but I definitely could be wrong. It's just that it's a great level 2 monster. You know, summons itself is still a Brigade monster, so it doesn't suck, but whatever. Cross out as a 1-of, to me, is just like a little awkward. I wouldn't bother doing that, especially if when you're only playing like Ashe, Maxi, and Imperm. I don't know, like, you might as well play like Ghost Bell if you're trying to stop, like, you know, a card that can actually negate your revolt. You know, Ghost Bell kind of sucks, nobody plays that. So I understand the logic because you're still trying to negate, you know, Maxi and stuff like that. But this deck doesn't really lose to Maxi that hard, and on the off chance of Crossout Designator being ass, you don't really want to draw it, so... Anyways, for the Xyz monsters, only 2 of them. Wow, Mannequin Cat and Gigantic. What can you really summon with Mannequin Cat that's insane here? I'm really trying to think. I don't think there's like that much that is like really broken outside of like your Splite monsters, because there's no like massive monster floodgate in the side deck. Yeah, I do remember the good, beautiful, good old days, and I'm being sarcastic, by the way, where people were summoning, you know, Thunder King, Ryo, Testudo, Arachnaman, and stuff like that with Mannequin Cat. Fun for the whole family, but yeah, a bunch of Link monsters. The Lightheart, I think that's the name. If not, well, I'm just stupid. Again, this is the Link one, very easy to summon. And then El Mirage, so that you can turn your Nerval as well as your Kit into a way to get something in the grave, and then, you know, summon the Keras and then play from there. So it's that's the reason why the card is there. And apart from that, nothing of value. The side deck is very just standard, not really, you know, beautiful to look at. Like, this is a typical TCG side deck. Everybody plays just like 3 of everything. And in the OCG, it's like the other way around. People play like 2 ofs, 1 ofs, and stuff like that. RP's Feather Duster, of course, being an exception to the rule. But like, I don't know if you're covering a lot of ground with this. And if you're playing against like a deck that you're not really used to, you might actually lose. But, you know, good going first and second card. So Cosmic is a flexible card. Duster especially going second, evenly same. And then Judgment going first. Droll and Logbird going second, but sometimes going first. Same thing with Nibiru, whatever. And finally, we've got Labyrinth. I don't know if I'm saying finally correctly, because there's still other decks, but anyways, Labyrinth, yeah, this video is not even close to being over. Yes, sir, I know. Labyrinth is a really good deck, blah, 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 like I explained. This guy's actually playing Ariana. I think that's Ariane. This one, you can't really see my mouse, I think, but the gray one and then the purple one is the one that I don't really like too much. It's kind of like a tour guide, but this deck is extremely freaking spicy and unique. I love it for a lot of reasons. First of all, it reminds me a little bit of like, not really Burning Abyss Trap, because it's playing like Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, but you know, this card has not seen play in a while. Paleozoic Dino-Miscus was kind of like a better card when it got, you know, printed, but it makes sense to play Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, because if you discard a card to activate Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, you can recycle back your Kukulak from the graveyard. So that's, you know, the thing, because you're discarding for cost, whereas Dino-Miscus discards as an effect. So if you use Dino-Miscus, you cannot use the effect of Kukulak in your graveyard. So some nice little recursion out there. But, you know, Dino-Miscus being able to revive itself back from the grave could mean that you could make some rank 2 monsters or some link plays, or whatever the hell. I really don't care what you're trying to do. But anyways, only 1 field spell. Makes sense. I mean, you're not really trying to play, like, a bunch of them, so you draw a bunch of them. Temple of the Kings is, like, the most beautiful thing I've ever looked at in my life. I love this card. I played an Exorcister. I think it's really good. You can use your Vadis right away, which means that you can summon 2 monsters from the deck and then play from there. I really think this card makes sense to play. And, you know, it's a card that in this deck is even better, because it means that you have access to Lady even faster. And that also means that you can get any trap cards very, very fast. And these traps being one-ofs is not something that, you know, might look, you know, disgusting and sacky. Oh, wow, you only won because you drew, like, the one-of. No, again, you're searching them every single time with the Lady Labyrinth. And since you're searching this card, which allows you to get your trap cards right away, and then you can use them on your opponent's turn, you can basically turbo out like Eradicator against the spell and trap decks, or like Deck Dev against like Splite Trap Brigade, because other monsters have low attack. And against like Tearlaments, you can turbo out different Dimension Ground and destroy everyone. And against the other decks, you have the Pointer of the Red Lotus. So this guy really thought about everything, and that's what I really like a lot. This deck is also well versed for going second. Well, not really, because it's still a trap deck, but at least he main decks Maxi and evenly matched. So I'm gonna be giving him a little bit of credit here. Even though, again, this deck is by far the worst deck that we have seen up until now going second, but arguably the best deck for going first, because, again, if you win the dice roll and you can set up your trap card floodgates, you win the game. And now for the extra deck, this is nothing super new, but you can make like a Zeus with like 10 billion materials by going, you know, summon this, and then summon the other rank 5 or whatever, and then this, and then the 7 Sins, and then the Zeus, whatever. it's pretty nice. So you can summon like a monster with 4k attack just using like 2 level 4 monsters. And because of the effect of Ariana, you can summon Ariane from the deck by sending a trap card from the hand or field to the graveyard. I think field, I forgot, but whatever. And then, you know, obviously this card gets you a search. So it's not too bad, but you're usually locked under Fiend monsters only. So that's the reason why there are a bunch of monsters that would be nice in this deck and the extra deck that aren't here. However, a nice option would be Evil Storm Excite on Knight, and he kind of regretted not having it, so that's also something that you could consider here. And there is also another one, Evil Swarm Nightmare, as well as, Jesus, what's the name? Rhapsody in Berserk. Anyways, the side deck is absolutely nothing spicy. I mean, everybody plays Lava Golem and Trap decks going second, and then, you know, Chaos Thunder is something that he actually said he didn't really like too much, so he's going to be removing that, and then D-Bear for going first, just adding insult to injury. Now, Splite is very, 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 very interesting and unique now. Look at this beautiful, gorgeous deck list. What do you notice immediately? You notice a bunch of win conditions, right? You see Artifact Scythe, you see Cyberstein, and now you might be thinking, how are you really going to be playing with Cyberstein and Artifact Scythe? It's very easy, don't worry. So Artifact Scythe is a card that you're turboing out with Artifact Dagda, and usually people have like Tornado Dragon or Needle Fiber into TG Wonder Magician to destroy your Artifact Scythe. Now, that is no longer possible. So instead of that, people are making IP Masquerena, and they're link summoning the Sky Striker Ace Azalea in order to destroy their own cards on their own field, so that you can destroy your Artifact Scythe, and just like that, you can scythe your opponent very, very easily, just using like 4 generic monsters. So 2 of them are making Dagda, and the other 2 are making IP Masquerena. That's it. And of course, they're all linked to monsters, so very Splite friendly, whereas you're locked under level, rank, and linked to monsters, and you really don't have to care about it. So I find this to be absolutely beautiful, really nice innovation. I'm a huge fan. And of course, Natura Exterior with Cyberstein is, it's not super easy to understand because you can't gigantic into Cyberstein, but you're still going, you know, Splite Sprint to send it, and then Elf to revive it back. Again, you can't make, you can't do that if you used Starter first or Gigantic, because Natura Exterior is a high-level monster. So that's the issue. I don't think I would be playing that personally, maybe in the side deck, but not in the main deck. If I'm going first, and I know for a fact that I'm playing against a deck that loses to Natura Exterior, I will be siding the Cyberstein in. Now, this deck plays a bunch of hand traps, so 3 Ash, and then Ghost Ogre, Bell, triple Maxi, double Veiler, triple Imperm, and Nibiru. How much is that? Like 14 hand traps? I said a random number, but usually I guess very well. So 4, 6, 9, 11, 14. I'm literally a god in this game. Literally just a random number. Yo, you have to smash the like and subscribe button now. Except if I don't know how to count and that was like randomly 15 or 16 or infinite. But yeah, very beautiful extra deck as well. Topologic Zeroboros is disgusting. Like very unfair. This card makes you win against everyone, especially trap decks, because, you know, they go set 5 on your ass and you're like, okay, Masquerena into Zeroboros, banish everything. Obviously you go like Elf, revive back a monster, and then Zeroboros banishes everything. And then it comes back with like 10 billion attack. Like if you use Prosperity on like turn 1, I think you're gonna have even more cards in the banished. I think it counts like your, yeah, it should definitely count your banished face down cards, because when you use like Desires and Gizmek, it boosts like by a lot. So Prosperity actually has like synergy in this deck, ironically. It's really nice that everyone can have like their built-in Grand Maju. Just really cool. Like it makes cards like Prosperity be kind of like a double utility card, where you have like consistency and you also increase the attack of your boss monster by a lot. So when you activate Prosperity and you have a, you know, well-defined game plan in your hand, in your mind, you don't banish the Zeroboros, you banish the Mechanite Crusader Avermax instead. However, sometimes you want to banish the you want to keep the Avermax because it might be like an insta-win condition against a bunch of decks. They really just can't really out it too much. So yeah, Avermax is very nice against Tearlaments in general, and also this deck, I want to say. They can't really target it or destroy it. So unless they have like non-targeting, non-destructive removal, like Ice Dragon's Prison or something, they might be screwed. So yeah, it's kind of rough out there. And Ice Dragon's Prison on Avermax might not work. I think it's a Cyberse monster. I could be wrong, but if it is, then you're super screwed because you're not really playing any Cyberse monsters in the deck, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, pretty good. And for the side deck, I don't really even care. The Eradicator Virus is not even spicy at all. You're just making like a gigantic sprite using a Link monster, and then it's a 32. And just like that, you can Eradicator for traps and win against Labyrinth. Oh, just so easy, man. That deck is very easy to beat if you're going first post game 1. But again, game 1 is where it's really nasty. Anyways, the final deck is The deck that refuses to die. Holy shit, man. Ishizu Kashtira Tearlaments. Why is this deck still a thing? So obviously now you have only one Fenrir. Unicorn is not really worth playing. I wouldn't really bother playing like a heavy Kashtira engine. So just, this is like a staple anyway, so you might as well play it. And then this card is still 3 for some reason. Kid Kalos is banned, so the best game plan right now is turboing out Kaleido Heart and then destroying it and then sending like maybe the Sullic so that you can search a monster or whatever else. And you can also send the Scream to search the Meta Noise. So even without, you know, Kid Kalos access, you can still search cards. You can still, you can search your trap cards with the Scream if you have the field spell access, or you can search your monsters by sending the Sullic or cycle back stuff with the Meta Noise. Do whatever the hell you want, and everybody now, well, not everybody, but every single Ishizu monsters are being maxed out in this deck list, or at least this version. Well, in this version, or at least this deck list, whatever, you get the point. And, yeah, she's like the King of the Swamp engine. Every engine is a part of this deck now. Like Shadal, freaking King of the Swamp, Ishizu, Kashtira, Tearlaments. This is the combination of everything that we've ever seen in this deck. It's actually hilarious. Like, hell, even Gravekeeper's Trap is being played now. That's nobody played this card before. And now, out of nowhere, people are. And, double Winda. Yeah, I'm not even shocked at this point. The deck is basically Winda Turbo with a bunch of trap cards and some, I don't know, like rank 4 monsters, fusion monsters, whatever. It doesn't matter too much. The deck is still really cool. And by the way, you can still summon Tearlaments, Lulu Karos even without Kid Kalos, because King of the Swamp can substitute its name for the Kid Kalos. So, you know, even if the card is banned, you can still summon it. So freaking funny, man. I love it. 10 spell cards in the side deck, 3 freaking Shadal Fusion, double heartbeats. Like, why double heartbeats? Are you that? You can't even search it anymore. How the hell are you getting access to this card? It's only really good if you're milling it and then you're recycling back your trap cards. 2? Oh my god. When I played 1, it was like 1 way too many. I was siding it out like every single time, but Jesus, yeah, alright, if you know what you're doing. And then Rise to Full Heights, which is also really funny. And then Call by the Grave, whatever. I mean, this is pretty standard. Dark Ruler makes sense. And then Duster, Evenly, Crime, whatever. Yeah, I guess this, for the most part, it makes sense. But the Shadal Fusions and the freaking Heartbeats and the Rise to Full Heights, I don't know, man. It's jokes, but, you know, if it worked, it worked, huh? What can I say? More Darks, by the way, in the extra deck. Nobody's playing freaking Bestials, which is very hilarious, but, yeah. And also Shaky Naga, by the way. I forgot to mention that, because you can do some nasty things, like Shadal Fusion, send Kelbeck or a Guido, as well as your Beast, and then summon Shekinaga, and then draw a card, mill 5 with a Kelbeck. So basically, your Shadal Fusion is pretty much like a lawn mowing at this point. You're going second, you're summoning a big monster, you're drawing cards, you're milling 5 cards, and then you're probably milling more cards because you're obviously going to be sending the other Ishizu monster that mills an extra 5, and then you're obviously going to be milling, like, I don't even know, like, a bunch of things, basically. So, yeah, absolutely gorgeous to look at. And in conclusion, Splite is rather popular in the current metagame, but don't go thinking that Tearlaments is not going to be seeing more play. I think it's just a matter of time before people realize how good the deck really is. And yeah, Droll and Logbird is really good against them because they can't really search the Revolt or do too much if they search, you know, a monster off of Blue or Jet. So it's not really, you know, like the pure Sprite deck that we have, well, that we can see right now. It searches a lot and also draws a lot. It also plays Tenki and stuff like that. Nobody really plays like Gamma, and so your Droll and Logbird is pretty much always resolving. And like Gamma is like a one-of in the OCG anyways, but like even in the TCG, I really don't think people would be playing Gamma for going first or something like that. So, you know, and yeah, just this deck is... I mean, Splite Brigade is a very good deck, but it looks very easy to beat if you know exactly what you're doing. And the Sprite Gishki deck is a deck that is very hard to understand because a lot of people don't really know what the Gishki cards do. But again, if you know what they do, it's pretty much the exact same flaws because everything is like relying on level 2 monsters. And yeah, if your Splite monsters can't really... your Sprites can't summon themselves, they can't really do too much. And this is going to be another tournament CCT He-Fi. Splite Brigade, Ishizu, Kashtira, Tearlaments, Runic, and then some other, very diverse breakdown actually, but I'm not going to be explaining anything, just showing a bunch of deck lists so you can see that on Road of the King. And yeah, just do whatever you want with this information. I can't believe people are finally starting to play Fairy Tail Snow in Tearlaments, because we've had this card forever in, well, no, sorry, we didn't have this card for long in the TCG, and we abused it to like it's death basically, and they had it for forever and they never played it up until now, so pretty hilarious. And then Runic, absolute cancerous of a deck. Amano Iwato and like 30 freaking 5 spell cards. And yeah, I can't believe this deck still exists. Oh, double birth. Wow. Very interesting. And then no papillas. Okay, okay. Everybody is playing Shikinaga. Wow. That is the new trend. And then Sky Striker. Interesting. No Azalea. Imagine when Splite are using your new Link 2 monsters better, well, your new Link 2 better than you are using it yourself. This is absolutely gold. Not a single trap deck. So this is ironically very similar to Runic. By the way, hey, maybe Runic Sky Striker could be a thing. That would be very interesting. You'd be able to draw like 17 cards in a single turn. And yo, the deck has double engage and double Kagari now. Maybe it could actually become better. That's pretty much it for this OCG metagame breakdown. Was absolutely a blast to look at. A lot of, you know, very innovative and spicy deck list. And deck lists that shouldn't exist but randomly exist because, oh my god, they were way too broken before. But that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.